What's the cheapest and lightest ergo gaming mouse you can get your hands on? There really aren't that many compared to the typical shapes. The lightest one that I know of was PMM Crazy 8K mouse, which costs as much as a Switch OLED, and depending on your configuration, it might cost even as much as a PS5. For a mouse. Really? I think at this point, the performance of hardware inside a mouse is pretty much similar. Perhaps it's really down to a matter of reliability. But what's more important is how well the mouse fits in your hand and your grip style. And likely that's the whole reason why people are looking to ergos. So, once again, I'm on the lookout for a perfect fit mouse for my hand, with maximum battery life. And this Delux M900Mini Pro caught my attention. As usual, a Chinese mouse with a whole fleet of variations just for a freaking mouse. Anyway, I pick up the one that has the most juice. Alright, specs time. Equipped with a 3395 sensor, 500 mAh battery, F-switch encoder, a Huano blue shell pink dot, weighing at 49 grams. This thing only has a dual mode connection, and it costs at $24 inclusive of shipping. Among all the mice that I've owned, this M900 Mini has to be the lightest. Everything sounds good on paper, but it does come with quite a number of flaws. For an ergo mouse, this thing has a rather mild side slope, and that is actually one of the weaknesses. The rightmost edge doesn't guide your palm into a natural position, so I find my ring finger getting caught on top of the shell rather than resting on the side, unlike with other ergo mice. Palm feeling wise, this mouse feels great. It feels all the way to the back of my palm. However, if you have a large hand, this is not a mouse for you. For my hand, it is already almost covering the whole mouse. Oddly enough, a claw grip on this mouse felt balanced, even though it's meant more for palm grip. Shell quality wise is also pretty poor. While it doesn't creak, you can actually squeeze the shell inward, horizontally and vertically. The buttons were unfortunately also one of its cons. Mouse 1 and Mouse 2 are very light to click, but they have very short travel distance and the click rebound were also not great. This causes me not to have a very consistent spamming of clicks. The middle clicks is also very stiff. So putting it side by side with a very light clicks on Mouse 1 and Mouse 2, the contrast is very uncanny. The side buttons, however, were its plus point. They were well positioned and doesn't protrude out too much, and my thumb doesn't touch them. They're also very tactile. Scrolling experience on this mouse was also not great. They felt too light to scroll, with no satisfying feedback, and can even be classified as a mushy scrolling experience. This mouse doesn't have a Bluetooth connection, and my version comes with only a 1K Hz dongle. The software is also not web-based, and it's pretty atrocious to use. To date, I still have no idea how to remove the extra DPI. I can only disable them. Custom buttons have very limited presets options, which I ended up using macros for both my side buttons. And for some reason, the red LED on the side of the mouse is constantly on whenever the mouse is active. The coating on this mouse is fine. It's just a very typical kind of coating, but if your mouse is white, this is the kind of coating where you'll see dark patches after 1 month of usage. The battery life on this mouse is also pretty mediocre, so after 1.5 days of usage, it's down to 80%. It basically means that this mouse will only last about a single week on a single charge. Overall, I have very little positive thing to say about this mouse, apart from the weight and the price. I rated this mouse a 5 out of 10. It's good for small to medium hands. Avoid it if you have large. Get this mouse only if you fancy this very particular shape or require weights under 50 grams, or if you don't want to spend anything above $30 on a mouse. I personally wouldn't recommend this mouse or this brand until they improve it in the future.